Hello everyone, my name is Serafi and I'm happy to meet you all, and today we're going to be playing pure Drytrons. Now, you're probably thinking, Serafi, you've released quite a few videos today. What's going on? What's going on is in 5 hours they're going to release Speedroids in Mass Duel, and I don't want to be doing anything else tomorrow, so we're rapid firing all the content that I built up in the meantime so that we can get it all out of the way, and tomorrow is Speedroid Day. Alright, so let's see here. We got Drytron Alpha Thuban. Oh, so Drytron is a level 1 Machine Exceeds Ritual deck. And the ritual monsters are level 12. You might think, how are you supposed to ritual summon a monster that's level 12 with level 1 monsters? Well, the answer is that the ritual spell for Drytrons is very interesting. Rather than considering the level of the monster, it considers the attack points of the monster, which is actually really fun and cool. And I really like this deck. It used to be very focused around the fairy engine, but now, I mean, you still use the fairy engine to some extent, but Drytron's got a few of their own new boss monsters, which work really well. And you can play the deck pure, and it works just fine, to be honest. So let's get started. For the hand traps, we are playing 2 copies of Max C, 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, 2 copies of Called by the Grave, and 1 Cross-Out Designator. So, Max C to stop people's turns, Ash Blossom to stop Max C, Called by to stop Max C, and Cross-Out Designator to stop Max C. And Fualis. Cool. Alright, now for the main deck, we are playing 3 copies of Drytron Alpha Thuban. So, every Drytron card except for new 2 has the following restriction. You cannot special summon monsters except monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set the turn you activate this effect. So, we can't special summon any monsters except for monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set. So, for example, we can special summon Lynx, we can special summon Rituals, we can special summon Exceeds, Fusion, and Synchro. All of that is allowed. What you cannot do is you cannot special summon a monster that could be special summoned as well as being normal summoned. So, for example, what's a good option? Like Cyber Dragon, right? Cyber Dragon can special summon itself from your hand, if you control no monsters and your opponent controls a monster, but it can also be normal summoned. Therefore, you cannot summon Cyber Dragon. So basically, it's just main deck monsters that aren't Drytron monsters. Can't special summon them. Cool. Let's see here. Alpha Thuban's effect is you contribute 1 other Drytron monster or a ritual monster from your hand or field, special summon this card from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Then you can add 1 ritual monster from your deck to your hand. So, okay. Drytrons are a little bit odd. You activate their effect from the hand or the graveyard. The effect resolves all at once. So you tribute a card, then you special summon the monster onto the field, then you get to search or summon or do something else. But your opponent, it's not like if you used Ecclesia to special summon Sword Soul of Mo Yi, right? Because when you use Ecclesia to summon Sword Soul of Mo Yi, Sword Soul of Mo Yi's ability to summon a card activates as a new chain. Alpha Thuban's effect to search a ritual monster is part of its effect to special summon itself, which makes it a lot like Suships. And therefore, these cards can't be impermed. Their effects have already activated by the time that they hit the field. And you actually don't have the ability to respond to them while they're face up before their effects resolve, because the effect happens as part of the summoning, not as part of a new chain. That's actually really good, but it also means that if you have an effect that would negate their ability to do anything, it stops them from special summoning as well. So while Thuban can't get impermed, if you ash it, it doesn't summon itself, because that's all part of the same effect. So just keep that in mind. Thuban is our bread and butter. We will use this to search our copy of Cyber Angel Benton, which we can then use to draw some other cards. Pretty good. Next up, we have Drytron Gamma Eltonin, which we are playing at 3. Cannot be normal summoner set, must be special summoned with the effect of a Drytron card, 2000 attack, 0 defense. You contribute 1 other Drytron monster or a ritual monster from your hand or field, special summon this card from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Then you can special summon 1 Drytron monster with 2000 attack points from your graveyard, except Gamma Eltonin. So this card allows you to resurrect a monster that has already summoned itself with its own effect. Pretty good. Getting 2 monsters on the field is also obviously very important for Exceed summoning. So since we do have an Xyz monster, Gamma is one of the main ways that we can enable it. Next up, we have Zeta, Drytron Zeta Aldiba. You contribute one other Drytron or ritual from your hand, special summons card in defense position, and then you can add one ritual spell from your deck to your hand. So Thuban adds ritual monsters, which we have 3 of. Zeta adds ritual spells, which we're only playing 1 of. So this card is a card that you can skip a lot if you happen to open the spell in some other way. Drytron Delta Ateus. This is the worst one. Well, second to worst. The worst one we don't play. Drytron Delta Ateus, you contribute one other Drytron monster or ritual monster from your hand or field, special summons card from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Then, you can reveal one ritual or ritual monster or ritual spell in your hand. If you do, you draw a card. Now, drawing a card is pretty good, certainly. And we do need as many names as possible in the deck. But this card does not search, it does not increase your board presence. Getting a called by or an ash can be pretty decent, but you really want to make sure that you're able to ritual summon when you're going first. So this card is more often used as tribute fodder for the other monsters rather than as an extender itself. But, I mean, you can use its effect just like everyone else's. Then lastly, we have the new monster, which is amazing, Drytron New 2. This monster has a different restriction. So Drytron New 2's effect says you can only use each effect once per turn. Also, you cannot ritual summon the turn you activate either of this card's effects except for machine monsters. So Drytron New 2 prevents you from ritual summoning Herald of Perfection or Herald of Ultimateness, which are cards that were used in Drytron before this new support was released. Is New 2 good enough to justify dropping Herald of Perfection? Not on its own. But since you have a replacement for Herald of Perfection now, it is. New 2's effect is very powerful. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by card effect. So the other cards have to be special summoned by a Drytron card. This card can be special summoned by any card effect, including 1-for-1, because it's a level 1 monster, which is insane. If a Drytron card is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand or your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. Very good effect. Easy way for us to get Xyz and Link material. If this card is special summoned by any means, you can add one Drytron monster from your deck to your hand, except Drytron New 2. So, Drytron New 2 can be special summoned by, let's say, it's special summoned by the effect of 1-for-1, or it's revived from the graveyard by Gamma Eltonin, or it summons itself with its own effect, or let's say you Monster Reborn it, right? Card comes out, it searches. Then, if you tribute it, you can use its effect afterwards to revive it. So, this card is a card that you will summon a lot, especially in particular with Drytron, was it Nova? Yeah, Drytron Nova. Because Drytron Nova special summons a Drytron from your deck. None of the other Drytrons trigger their effects when they're special summoned, so that card's pretty dead, except for on New 2. Great card. We are playing one copy of Diviner of the Herald. Diviner of the Herald is a broken card. I don't know why this card has never been banned. It's ridiculously good. Diviner of the Herald is a level 2 fairy tuner monster with 500 attack points and 300 defense points. If this card is normal or special summon, you can send one fairy monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. If you do, increase this card's level by that monster's level until the end of the turn. Insanely broken. It allows you to trigger all sorts of really good effects, and it makes itself level 6, which means that we can use it for synchro material. So we're only playing one copy because Ben 10 searches it. One copy of Ultimate Bright Knight Ursatron Alpha. This is a level 7 monster, not level 1, so we can't use it as Xyz material. It does have 2,000 attack points. It is a machine, but it is water. It is not light, so you can't search it with Cyber Emergency. Nope, wrong one. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by card effect. So this can be special summoned by any card effect as well. But its effect only triggers if it special summons itself, unlike New, which is really annoying. If you control an Ursardic or Drytron monster, except for Ultimate Bright Knight or Ursatron Alpha, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can add one Ursardic or Drytron spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So, the way that we use this card is we'll special summon it, and then we will use it to draw our Fafnir, and when Fafnir is activated, it adds a spell or trap, which could get us Nova. If we already have Nova, because we used it to get to this point in the combo, we can use it to draw Meteor Shower instead. Really good. You can't use this card as Exceeds material, so you will typically offer it as a tribute for rituals. You could also tribute it to revive one of your other Drytrons, or you can link it off. Decent enough. We are playing one copy of Vanity's Ruler. Vanity's Ruler is a level 8 light fairy monster with 2,500 attack points and 1,600 defense points. Cannot be special summoned. Your opponent cannot special summon monsters. What a fantastic floodgate. So this card is in the deck specifically because sometimes your opponent will just stop you from playing the game. With Fiendsmith and a bunch of other decks running around, a lot of people are playing a lot of hand traps. In particular, one of the hand traps they love to play is Droll Lockbird. Droll Lockbird, like I said, since you are prevented from, like, drawing cards, I think... No, hold on. These are all cans, I think. Okay. You can summon your monsters under Droll, but let's say that you don't have enough extension, right? Let's say that you that you have been prevented from playing the game in some way. Maybe you got impermed at an inopportune time, like on your Mu Beta Fafnir, or maybe you're worried about Nibiru, something like that. So, Vanity's Ruler allows you to, you can tribute, basically you can go into Alpha Thuban, you can tribute to special, add Cyber Angel Benton, tribute Cyber Angel Benton to summon another monster, and then you add Vanity's Ruler to your hand. Now you can tribute both of your Drytrons to summon it, and you can just pass to your opponent. Decent enough floodgate will usually get you through a turn. So, it's a good fail-safe card, and it has helped me a lot. I have used this to beat Labyrinth in particular, which is really nice. Cyber Angel Benton, this is a level 6 light fairy monster. You can ritual summon this card with Machine Angel Ritual, or with Drytron Meteonus if you need to. If this card is tributed, you can add one light fairy monster from your deck to your hand, not once per turn. A lot of Drytron decks will play this at 3. We don't really feel the need to, because we don't do that much searching. Drytron Meteonus Draconids. Level 12, 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense. You can ritual summon this card with Meteonus Drytron. Your opponent cannot target this card with monster effects. Solid. Good option. If the total levels of monsters used for its ritual summon are 2 or less, this card can attack all special summon monsters your opponent controls once each. Okay, yep, that will typically be the case. You either offer an Xyz monster, which has no levels, or 2 level 1s. So yes, this is as long as you're playing Drytrons, this card has this effect. During your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can banish monsters from your graveyard whose combined attack equals exactly 2,000 or 4,000. Then target one face-up card your opponent controls for every 2,000 attack of the total, and send that card to the graveyard. This is an interesting effect. It allows you to banish 2 Drytrons from your graveyard to target 2 face-up cards on the field, and send them to the graveyard, which in particular can be really useful for cards like the Equip card that gets added to Desiree, or something else. You can also just pitch one of your opponent's normal summon monsters or special summon monsters that has to activate an effect as opposed to having the effect activated as soon as it's summoned to prevent them from having the ability to do that effect, which is really nice. So it's a good card. But it's not as good as this one. Drytron Meteonus DA Draconids. This is a ridiculously powerful monster, level 12, 5,000 attack, 5,000 defense, which means that you will need to use 3 sacrifices to summon it as opposed to 2. You can ritual summon this card with Meteonus Drytron. Other Drytron monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Absolutely crazy. Twice per turn. Soft twice per turn. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish Drytron monsters minimum 1 from your graveyard whose total attack equals or exceeds the original attack of that monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Now, since we can recycle this card, we have up to 4 negates, which is Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. You have an Appaloosa that you can ritual summon, which has 5,000 attack points and 5,000 defense points. What does that mean? First of all, it means you can play it in defense position, which is one of the biggest weaknesses of Appaloosa, in my opinion. It has to always be in attack position. Number 2, even though you're losing resources, they are from the graveyard rather than on the field, so you can usually try and win the game afterwards. And number 3, the card, it destroys the card as opposed to just like negating the effect. Now sometimes destroying the card can be a negative. Appaloosa does have some use cases where it's really annoying that it doesn't destroy the card, but for the most part taking cards away from your opponent's hand is a good thing. So I feel like Draconids is a really solid card that allows you to control the board, and in particular it's much harder for your opponents to bait Draconids than it is for them to bait Appaloosa, because with Appaloosa, if you force one of Appaloosa's effects, the monster remains on the field, so then you can use it as material to go into something else. Since Draconids can destroy the monster, then it's not really being baited for you to destroy one of their key monster effects. And of course, A lot of times they don't even realize that you can recycle this. So they're going for the twice per turn, then you hit them with the surprise, oh, I can do this 2 more times, and then they lose the game. If this ritual summon card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can special summon 1 ritual monster from your hand or deck with 4,000 attack points. This is treated as a ritual summon. So if this card gets destroyed somehow, then you just pop out the other one from your deck, and it is ritual summon, and it has its effect live. Insane. What a crazy float effect. Great card, 10 out of 10. If it wasn't so searchable, we would play it at 3. It is searchable, which makes the deck ridiculously cheap. That's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 main deck URs, along with your hand traps. Crazy. Foolish Burial, send 1 monster from your deck to the graveyard. Literally all of the Drytrons can special summon themselves from the graveyard. Pick one. Cyber Emergency, add 1 light machine monster that cannot be normal summoned or set from your deck to your hand. Okay, so that adds any Drytron card except for the Ursartron. Pick one. Drytron Nova, special summon a Drytron monster from your deck but destroy it during the end phase. You can only activate 1 Drytron Nova per turn. You cannot special summon monsters except monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set the turn you activate this effect. Excellent card. Allows you to bring out your new from your deck, which then lets you search out your Alpha Thuban, and also then new goes to your graveyard, which means that you can revive new later. So just a very good card. Drytron Fafnir. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Drytron spell or trap from your deck to your hand, except Drytron Fafnir. The activation and activated effects of ritual spells cannot be negated, which does not apply just to Meteonis Drytron. So I assume that there are other ritual decks that would really like this effect. I think it's really good, actually. Once per turn, if a monster is normal or special summoned while you control a Drytron monster, you can reduce that monster's level by 1 for every 1,000 of its current attack points for the rest of the turn. That's a really interesting floodgate. So if you're playing against a deck that is playing Synchro Xyz, you can lower their level in the middle of their turn, which is something that people don't pay attention to, actually. Why would you expect a field spell to have a floodgate? It's pretty weird. So if your opponent's paying attention to all of your negates on the board, and they're like, okay, well, I need to get at least 1 monster out. They summon, like, let's say that they summon what's his name, Engraver, right? Fiendsmith Engraver, and then they bring back a second one, and they're like, okay, I can go into Wave High King Caesar. No, it has 1,000 attack points, level 5. You can fusion summon it, but what if your opponent has revived it with the effect of Lacrima? Then they've already fusion summoned. They have 2 level 6s out. You make one of them level 5. No Xyz summoning. Now what do? They can go in Appaloosa, I guess, but they have lost their ability to play the game in an optimal way for them. So, and Fiendsmith is like not necessarily the best example. This hits Centurion. This hits. This hits Centurion, this hits, what's it called? It hits Centurion, it hits White Forest, it hits Resonators, it's going to hit 6 Samurai, it's going to hit Speedroids, it hits Ryziel, I think. I don't know if Ryziel monsters have 1,000 attack points, actually. That's a good question. Yes, some of the Ryziel monsters do have at least 1,000 attack points, so you could stop Detonator from coming down. So cool, great card. By the way, when you activate, so you search this card off of Ursartron, and then when you activate it, you will draw Nova if you don't already have it, which is a great extender. If you have already played Nova, you draw Meteor Shower, which is a counter trap. So just solid. Meteonis Drytron. This card is stupidly good. Wow. I mean, when I first started playing Drytron and I saw that their ritual spell was a UR, I was like, this better be a really good card. And it is. And you only need to play it at 1, so that's perfectly fine that it's a UR. This card can be used to ritual summon any ritual monster in the game from either your hand or your graveyard. What a fantastic card. You could play this in literally anything. Now, it is true that new stops you from playing non-machine rituals. But you don't have to play new if you don't want to. You must also tribute machine monsters from your hand or field whose total attack points equal or exceed the attack of the ritual monster you ritual summon. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target a Drytron monster you control. It loses exactly 1,000 attack points until the end of your opponent's turn, and if it does, add this card to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So that's why we only play one. We can literally recycle it every single turn. It's really, really good card, and since it can ritual summon monsters from the graveyard, even if our monsters get destroyed, we can just bring them right back. So we recycle the ritual spell, we leave the ritual monster in the graveyard, we keep reviving them, and then we can just play a dedicated ritual deck with only one ritual spell and only 3 ritual monsters, and we're still ritual summoning literally every turn. It's such a good package. Drytron is basically the only ritual deck that works. I understand that Mitsurugi is currently tiered, but who cares? Mitsurugi is able to ritual summon from the deck, which is stupid. This is actual ritual summoning at its peak. This is better than any other ritual. This is better than Vendreads. This is better than Necroz. This is better than Libromancer. I love this deck. It's so fun. Last card for the main deck is Drytron Meteor Shower. This is a counter trap card. When your opponent normal or special summons a monster while you control a ritual monster, negate the summon, and if you do, shuffle that monster into the deck. So this stops Exceed Summoning, it stops Fusions, this stops Exceed Summoning, it stops Synchro Summoning, it stops Link Summoning, and it stops Normal Summoning. And normal summons are actually relatively important for a lot of decks. So a lot of decks do not expect to have their normal summon countered. That can actually shut down someone's entire turn. So, yes, this is a really good card, and since you can search it, it's just solid. Alright, the next deck, we are playing Elder Entity Entis. This is a fusion of a Synchro and Xyz monster. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by sending the above cards you control to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. So this is a good way to pop one of your opponent's cards going second when you play Diviner of the Herald. Herald of the Arclight, this is what you send with Diviner of the Herald when you go first. When a spell or trap card, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one ritual monster or one ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Solid card. Eve Dawn Dragster. This is a level 7 Synchro machine monster with 0 attack points and 2,000 defense points. It gains attack equal to its level times 1,000. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing to your opponent. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect, you can reduce this card's level by 2. If you do, negate the activation, and if you do that, destroy the card. So Dragster is a solid piece of extra negation for your end board. You make it with Herald and 1 level 1, which is not much investment for you. And since it's a machine, you can even tribute it in order to use the effect of your ritual spell. So, good card. Kinki Nagashi Fucho. This is a rank 1 winged beast monster. It requires 2 level 1 monsters. It is unaffected by other cards' effects. It has 0 attack points and 0 defense points. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card. For the rest of this turn, this card cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. This is your emergency button. If your opponent messes with you, if your opponent maxes you, in particular, you can make this card, and you can pass to your opponent, and most likely, you will survive the turn. Yes, this card can be removed with Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, or with a Kaiju. If they don't have either one of those, they're not going to destroy it. They can't remove it from the field, they can't stop its effect from resolving, so you just play it in defense, you pass to your opponent, they build their board, you break their board, we win the game. Good card. Drytron Mu Beta Fafnir. This card is insane. It is a rank 1 that requires 2 or more level 1 monsters, a 2,000 attack machine Xyz monster. When you ritual summon, you can detach a material from this card as a monster required for the ritual summon, which is stupid, and is not once per turn. So if you Xyz summon Mu Beta Fafnir, and it has 2 materials, you can literally use both of those materials as the ritual requirements for your 4K attack monster, and then you don't even lose any cards from the field. It's crazy. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can send 1 Drytron card from your deck to the graveyard, which will usually be one of the monsters that you haven't summoned yet. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control a machine ritual monster, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation. If you do, destroy the card. Good card. Lets you get a spell negate. Useful. We're playing 2 copies. It's just a good card to have. Downer Magician. During your main phase 2, you can Xyz summon this card by using a rank 3 or lower Xyz monster you control as material. This card gains 200 attack for each material attached to it. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing. If this card battles after damage calculation, detach a material from it. Okay, so Downer Magician is kind of how you rank up from move Beta Fafnir into Downer Magician after the battle phase, and then you go into Zeus. Zeus, which is a machine. Interestingly enough, it's a light machine, so it fits very well. It's a space transformer. Rank 12, 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense. Once per turn, if a Xyz monster battled this turn, you can also Xyz summon and divide an arsenal AA Zeus the Sky Thunder by using one Xyz monster you control as material. It does not have to be an Xyz monster that battle, which is why we can use Downer Magician to make it. As a quick effect, you can attach 2 materials from this card, send all other cards from the field to the graveyard. That is not once per turn, it is also not once per chain, which is really, really funny. If your opponent tries to negate Zeus's effect and you have 4 materials on it, you can attach 2 materials and do it again. Once per turn, if another card you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can attach 1 card from your hand, deck, or extra deck to this card as material. So it recharges its materials, which is really useful. Relinquished Anima, link 1, points forward, level 1 monster. You can target 1 face-up monster this card points to, equip that face-up monster to this card, it gains attack equal to the equipped monster's attack points. Good. Easy removal. Nightmare Phoenix, link 2, lets you discard a card to pop a card on the field. Pretty solid. I actually think I probably want to replace this with Unicorn at this point. With all the... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to replace this with Unicorn. Yeah, forget that. We're playing Unicorn. In particular, I have been annoyed that my access code talker has not had 5,300 attack points. It's been triggering my OCD a lot. So now we have a link 3. Okay. A Nightmare Unicorn requires 2 or more monsters with different names. If this card is linked, summon, discard a card, target a card on the field, and shuffle it into the deck. Great. IP Masquerena, 2 non-link monsters during your opponent's main phase. You can, as a quick effect, immediately after this effect resolves, link summon a link monster using what materials you control, including this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. A link monster that used this card as material cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, ever. And that is a lingering effect, cannot be negated. Very, very useful. We will link our Ritual monster and IP Masquerena into Donna Munda, which requires 2 monsters, including a Ritual monster. If this card is special summon, you can target 1 card on the field and 1 Ritual monster in your graveyard, shuffle both into the deck. So you shuffle back your Cyber Angel Benton, which means that you can search it again, and then you spin one of your opponent's cards back into the deck. So it's basically like if you IP'd into Nightmare Unicorn, but you don't have to discard a card. It has the same attack points and everything. During your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you contribute this card, then target 1 Ritual monster in your graveyard, either add it to your hand, or if it was properly summoned, you can special summon it. So Dynamundo lets you tribute itself to bring back your Draconid, which then resets its 2 negates, its twice per turn negate, so that you have 4 negates. Very, very good card. SP Little Knight requires 2 effect monsters. If this card is link summoned using a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster as material, you can target 1 card on the field or in either graveyard, banish it. Also, your opponent's monsters cannot attack directly this turn. And when your opponent activates the card effect, you can target 2 face-up monsters on the field, including a monster you control, and banish both until the end phase. Very good card. You can just make Relinquished Anima with, and then link into this and banish 1 card from your opponent's field or graveyard. Access Code Talker. 2 or more effect monsters. Your opponent can activate cards or effects in response to any of this card's effect activations. If this card is link summon, you can target 1 link monster that was used as its link material. This card gains attack equal to that monster's link rating times 1,000. So if you target your Nightmare Unicorn, this has 5,300 attack points. You can banish 1 link monster from your field or graveyard, destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Also, for the rest of his turn, you cannot banish monsters with the same attribute to activate this effect. And that does not target. Really good card. And then lastly, Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. 4 effect monsters. You can use one of your opponent's monsters as material to link summon this card. If this card is link summon, negate everything that's face up. The link summon card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects unless they target this card. And once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that special summons a monster from the graveyard, you can negate that activation. Really, really good card. Love it. Alright, that is it for the deck. I've already posted replays, and I've already posted a combo guide. So you guys know how the deck works. You've seen replays. So if you are interested in more content about pure Drytrons, just check the other videos on my channel. My name is Rafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.